Is that an original Fates Warning?
Where?
Behind you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Awesome.
There's Chilled Pint. Hello, Nick. Chilled Pint. Nick, you're number one. Chilled Pint, you're numero dos. Hello, everybody. Oh, wait. I have theme music. Hold on.
That's from me, Pete.
Okay.
I closed it.
Where is it? I don't want to hear that. All right. I get it. All right. This is like podcast theme music.
Yeah,
How cheesy is this?
That is a cool intro.
That's so bad. We just lost 5 viewers from that alone. It was at 25. Now it's at 20. Hey, Nick. Greetings, everybody, to our inaugural entree into talking about the best sounding pressings of music that we love and why that is not a bad thing. So I am joined currently by, to my left, Thor from Thor's Vinyl Tube. And below us is Mr. Jason Rojas. So you guys, Thor, you want to briefly tell people? Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on. We need a drum roll here because this is a momentous occasion here, people. Here we go. The one, the only, John Bandy, people. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Hey, guys. Hey, Thor. Hey, Jason.
Hi.
For the first time anywhere, we have Mr. John Bandy. So I just saying, going to go around the horn here and let people just briefly say who you are because some people might not know you. So Thor, you started off.
I'm Thorsten from Germany. I know Patrick since a long time. He invited me to come up. I have a humble YouTube channel, Thor's Vinyl Hammer. My genre or my preferred favorite music is metal, but I'm not limited to metal, so I'm glad to be here, and I hope we have a cool show.
All right, John, take it away, Mr. Bandy.
John Bandy. The R is for records, I guess. I'm kind of a new guy here at the VC, but I've known of Patrick for a long time, and glad to meet Thor and glad to meet Jason. Turned me on some good music.
Jason, you're up.
I'm Jason Rojas. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a terrible vinyl community celebrity and just the worst. And a lot of parody videos on me.
Not true.
So I intend to show the worst records on this live stream.
There we go. That's going to take some doing. And I'm Patrick. I am outside of this world. I'm known as probably PB Thal. I'm a vinyl ripper. It's how I started. It's how I met Thor. So my goal here is to kind of like do what I was doing with Michael 45, and he got really busy. And so I thought, well, I could do this by myself, or I could get people who are like-minded like me and could expand the reach a little bit, and make it so, it's more of a collective rather than just me shoving what I think's best down everyone's throats. Now we can argue about what we think is best and be entertaining for you people. So feel free to ask questions like what we think are the best sounding versions, and when we say something, feel free to chime in and say we're wrong and you have a different idea. It's all about just finding this shit out, and as we go, maybe some of the stuff we'll show you how to find these records for yourself, but using Discogs or whatever other means necessary, mostly Discogs probably, but at least to arm yourself with the tools to be effective, So without further ado, if you guys got any questions, throw them out there. If not, we're going to show a couple of records that I had people do as a kind of a homework assignment. So we can either do that, or you guys can start firing away. So if you guys don't ask a question, then you're going to have us showing records. So if you don't want that, then say something. It's on you. So,
question is there, Pete.
Start out with the big one. Best sounding Dark Side of the Moon. You want us to break up right here in front of your eyes on the very first day? Wow. Do you really want us to just argue? Well, might as well. I mean, I'll go. I know what my favorite is. My favorite is the UK quad pressing. I love the way the quad mix sounds in stereo. That's just my favorite. If I had to choose a second that wasn't a quad mix, it would probably be what is the one that's after the solid blue? Is it the A2B3? Is that the one?
B3.
Mhm.
Is it A2B3? It would be the A2B3. Nick Fantasy says the German first. I've thrown my gauntlet out there, and so I'm gonna let me start. I'm gonna try to star some of the questions so we don't lose track of them. So that's me. So, what do you guys want to counteract with something else? Go ahead.
No,
What do you think, Thor?
I'm with you, P. I'm with you on the quad, but I'm not so much familiar with the quad. I would second the A2B3. I have that one here. I love that one. It's affordable. It's easy to find and not that super expensive. The German first pressing I have also here, the 062 in the catalog. It sounds phenomenal also, but if I would be asked, I would prefer the UK first pressing, A2B3.
Mr. Bandy.
I would agree. I would agree with that. It just has that, cliche holographic kind of sound to it. It's just nothing sounds quite like that. I've never heard the quad. Well, I've heard your drop, but I've never heard the quad like on my stereo. At the time, I wasn't into that because I wasn't sure you could actually even play those on a stereo. But I soon have learned differently that it sounds great on a stereo, just a stereo build.
Yeah, sorry.
Jason, you got the last word on this. Well, the first word.
I don't know, John Bandy. Should I should I get my records and just man
Both
up
fine?
there on here?
I think you got to go for it, man.
You got to give me 1 minute, and I'm gonna man up.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Go.
So also,
He's
I
bringing
think
on the
that
heat.
I think that if I'm not mistaken, that Amiga, that the Eastern Germany label, they put out Dark Side of the Moon and they use the quad mix. I have to check out. I have that one here. It's from the Amiga Eastern Germany label, and they say on Discogs when you get the red label pressing, it is the quad mix. So I have to check that out.
I like the 30th anniversary. That's the Kevin Gray one, right?
Yes.
Supposedly, the one the test pressing that was done at RTI sounds way better than the one they pressed at what is it at the MOV. There you go, the solid.
So
there's not really a record in it. It's just the label, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, definitely. Let me just hold this up. Definitely, this one is the mighty one. I mean, as mighty as Thor, right? This one. But
is that the first pressing, Jason?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow!
And then this is the one that Patrick is talking about, like the A2B3. So
yeah, that one doesn't have the solid triangle. Yeah.
Right. So this one is good too, but I would recommend you get. Who said it before the 30th anniversary? Doc K. To me, I agree with you. This 30th is slightly affordable. I say slightly.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
But this one, to me, is the one that's worth buying, other than maybe the Bernie Grunman cut that's out. So
but that's Kevin Gray, right? And that was cut at Music on Vinyl's facility, right? And the Sony one.
I think so.
Yeah, the test pressing was done at RTI. It's supposed to be even better, allegedly.
Allegedly, if we could get one.
Yeah, but one just sold for like $5,000. So.
I think Esposito has one of those.
That's actually the one. This Amiga pressing from the Eastern Germany.
Oh wow!
And they say in Discogs they use the quad stampers for that one. The red label pressing is using the quadrophonic. Nice. So I have to say I'm such an idiot. I never listened to that one because I have the UK one. So I have to give it a check if it's really that good quality.
That's an interesting label. Like that. Interesting label.
But the reissue from 2016 is not bad. I mean, it's out there. You can get it, and the quad will run you probably around 75 to 100. The 30th anniversary is probably now like about 100 now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and the A2B3 is going to run you 150, $200 probably, and the solid blue one's going to run you probably 300, just at least.
Do not be like this fool here. I'm pointing to me. Do not go hunt this down. And this is not the way, right?
But it looks cool. But it does look cool.
Right. And the cool thing is, you can see that patent pending. Does everyone see that right there?
It's amazing.
Yes.
That's the cool thing.
I'm jealous.
Don't be jealous. No FOMO. No, none of that here.
What means FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Oh, okay.
It's an acronym.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cut at acoustic but it was pressed. It was pressed at like Music on Vinyl, wasn't it? It was pressed in the Netherlands. I know that.
Yes.
But the test pressings were done at RTI, and those are supposed to be like amazing. So, oh, that was well, right. We survived that question, but so you are now armed with our favorites. I mean, there's really not a bad sounding pressing of Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, there's some that aren't as good. Even like the Wallies are good. Even the Mo-Fi is passable. But I mean, it's a great recording. It's kind of like Steely Dan Asia. It's a great recording. It's going to withstand, just about anything.
Yeah, it's hard to find a bad sounding pressing of Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Until you get the
That's right.
50th first,
That's right.
50th anniversary, John. Until.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, we may see that after all.
5 sealed copies. Holy shit!
Wow.
That was quite the score. You did.
Yeah.
You could buy a couple of the solid blue triangles, by selling those if you wanted to.
Yeah. I always heard the 30th was a little hard to track. I've never had any problems with mine. Have any of you guys ever did they have the 30th have a problem tracking that? Or
No problem.
Not me.
I mean, that one, I think the 30th has like the deepest bass that I've heard, like that heartbeat that opens the beginning. I was like, wow, I've never.
Well, all right. I will give you that the AA, yes. I mean, the AA, that was a horrible mastering. That mastering on the second, it's kind of funny because the AA is the second mastering and the 8B is the first one. But
So would you guys suggest for people who are looking for something affordable, would you guys suggest the 2016?
Yes,
Is that
I
something
would.
that's
Yeah.
I would maybe even a 3rd, 4th, 5th pressing of the UK. I would recommend it.
maybe that instead of the 2016? All right,
Yes.
you're going to get a more tubey sound, maybe.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I just checked Discogs. It's really true. This Eastern Germany, they use the quad stampers. Funny. I have to really check that out. It's 20 euros here in Germany.
Just Steven says his quad was his 30th was pressed off center. I didn't have that problem on mine. I mean, the MFSL of Dark Side, it doesn't sound great, but why would you pay a premium for the MFSL when you can get a better sounding version, for probably less money, actually, I mean, for those, especially for those old Mo-Fis, you're just paying for the label and the mystique, or that UHQR box that looks really cool. Talk about a big box, so yeah.
You're gonna hate one of my picks then. Oh man.
Is it going to be a UH? Is it going to be like what? Is it going to be like Crime of the Century UHQR? Is that what you're going to pull out?
Controversial. I'm picking it just because it's controversial. Definitely.
Oh well, hell, we should. Well, we'll save that for a little bit. We'll save the homework assignment for a little bit. So off center. All right. Anybody else? I'm trying to think. I was thinking about something that I heard the other day that made me wonder. So everyone's talking. I've heard people now start, even though it's been out for a while, the Jethro Tull stand up that Acoustic Sounds did. Do you all have that? Have you all heard that?
I do not have it.
That's one I've got on order, so it should be
okay.
coming here pretty soon.
So I have it, and I think it sounds great, but I haven't really done a comparison to the UK. So I'm wondering though why it's taken so long for people to start talking about that, because usually when something like that comes out, anything by Acoustic Sounds comes out, I mean, Analog Productions, it's like the topic of the day for immediately, but this one is like not being talked about at all.
Well, I know Michael 45 did a video on it. He preferred it to the original UK. So I noticed that. So which I can see that, sometimes Chad nails those, nails.
I mean, a lot of times. So I heard you left him a voicemail about Street Survivors. Is that true?
Well, I shot off an email. So we need this as a UHQR, buddy.
I just ordered the Marvin Gaye mastered by Understand It's Good. I'm confused by the what's going on thing. There are so many versions out right now that I have no idea what's what. So can anybody here give me clarity on what's going on and what's going on with what's going on? So I can confuse the matters because I actually just bought a Japanese quad pressing that I heard Japanese quad pressing was amazing of what's going on. It's been on my want list forever. So I finally pulled the trigger on one. It's on its way here. So I'll have that. So I have an original, and I have one that's in like a box set. I think that might be the Kevin Gray. But is the 50th the Kevin Gray, or was it the other one? Was the Kevin Gray?
I think there's two versions of the 50th. One of them is the Kevin Gray, but the one pressed in Europe is somebody else.
Right. That's
Okay.
exactly right.
So it's kind of like the Fleetwood Mac Rumors or whatever, where they pressed.
Mhm.
They had the Steve Hoffman, Kevin Gray, and then the one that was pressed over in Europe did not have Steve Hoffman and Kevin Gray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't pick that one.
Yeah. That's a true one.
So I guess the thing to look at it is to try to, if you can find someone who's selling it, have it at least that it's open and who's mastered it. That's one thing about buying sealed records is you don't get it. You don't have no idea what the hell you're buying.
Jason, do you know if there's any indicators on the cover at all? Do you know the details on that? Or
no,
there's
because
not?
that label, they're declaring that it is like Kevin Gray, but people open it up and then look at the inner groove, and it wasn't no KPG, so that
that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yes. So, here's another one. This is another one of those albums that always seems to creep up, and there's no consensus. It's either because I've heard the Monarch, I've heard the German. What is it? A3B5. And then there's the UK that has T.M.L, has the TML and the dead wax. So there's three versions that I hear about, that are supposed to be the best. So I threw, as we did with Dark Side of the Moon. I'll start with this one. My favorite pressing of this is probably the Monarch pressing that I have. This the Rockefeller or the Broadway label doesn't matter. I've had them both and I recorded them. They both sound exactly the same. Exactly. So you don't need the Broadway. You don't need. Oh, is it the German with the TML? Okay, I've had that too. Yeah. But I've never had a really clean pressing of that. So
you will have to next time I send the bum. You will. I have it here.
Okay. Well, that will be the thing. So my preference is the Monarch. So
okay.
Next, any of you guys have a preference for Sticky Fingers?
I have the original German here with this what is it called?
TML.
No, this when you have the cover and on
the zipper. The zipper.
Zipper, yeah. So the TML is very good sounding, but I think for me it's a tier between the Monarch and the German. Both have their merits, and I would hunt for both. Both are really, really good ones.
I would be in agreement with Thor. I don't know what the German is. That an 80s pressing you guys are talking about? The German pressing?
No, I think that's the first one. It's
Should I get it?
Go get it.
Yeah, I have a German 80s pressing that I really, really like. I don't know exactly. It's on very thin vinyl, but it has a clarity to it. Sometimes with the older pressings, with the Monarchs even, you have a little bit of noise. They're kind of noisy vinyl just because of the time period. But it has a certain clarity to it that I like. Sticky Fingers is such a it's a Rolling Stones album, so it's so roughly recorded anyway, I think. So it's hard to find something with some clarity to it.
It just sounds like grit. I mean, it sounds like gritty. I mean, the whole recording sounds like gritty vinyl.
Yeah. So what year is this, Thor?
I check.
The 70s is first pressing, right?
I think that looks like a first. Yeah. That's a first pressing.
Yeah, I was going to say it does.
That is definitely a first pressing, but it's not written on the cover the year, maybe on the record.
I can't tell by the label, but I can tell by the dead wax and the
dead wax. I can tell you,
Michael. I don't know how you would tell by the label if it's an RL.
COC 5911000B.
B1 or B4.
Yeah. Made in Germany. Not much is there. A1, B3, I think, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's really a nice sounding one. But I don't know the year. It's not written. The year is not written on that.
I've heard the Precision Sticky Fingers. Someone brought that up. They bought it from Acoustic Sounds. I heard those are really good too. I heard those sound great. Jason, do you have anything to say about Sticky Fingers? Is that one of your? Do you have to man up and go off camera and go grab some stuff?
No, not that one. I've heard the UK. I've heard the UK version. It's all right, but I mean, I have to agree with you, Patrick. Like the real McCoy here is the US Monarch. Why? Because you're getting that zipper and that whole package of the zipper, and you unzip it, and you know that, and then I think you peel the just like the top part, and you can see Andy Warhol's signature. That's like all very unique, you know.
Yeah.
Album.
Yeah, I agree on the Monarch too. I would say that also. I know that TML German that people are mentioning in the comments. I know I've listened to that. I'm just not sure how I determined that I like the 80s pressing better. I don't have that with me right now. It's in storage.
All right. So somebody asked me, I'll just get it. Someone asked me, what is the impetus for vinyl ripping? Well, for me, it started out because I literally wanted to hear ZZ Top Tejas without the 80s re-recorded they did of those stupid freaking drums. You know, I remember getting the CD and like going, I can't listen to this. So I bought a turntable. I was a computer guy. I said, I can hook up my turntable and record this stuff, and I'll just have it for myself. So I did that, and then I started to get into it, and I said, so I started buying more records. I started going to garage sales, and then sooner or later I found out other people did this shit, and so then I started joining the community. Then I had my own website, and then like 12 years later, I've done like 10,000 of these things, and I just like the way it sounds. I mean, I like being able to have my music and take it anywhere I want it. You know, I can I'm not constrained to have to sit in the perfect chair to listen to music. I can take music on my bike rides anywhere I want it, you know, and people send me records to record from all over the world. Look, Thor has sent me massive packages of records I would never, ever have access to ever in my life, you know, that I can record them, let other people hear them and talk about what they like, you know. So that's one of the cool things about doing it is I can record it and people can all talk about, you know, which they like best, and you have kind of like one of these live streams every time you post a record. So that's the impetus for me for doing the vinyl rips. So
the ZZ Top drums is a good enough reason right there.
Yeah, I mean that was just
one package was like 16, 17 kgs I sent to Patrick. It's always
huge.
It always is. It's always a risk, you know. I always have a little, you know, when they are back from Germany or when they go there. I mean, I cannot give the customs the real value what I'm sending. When I send the 6 first, Black Sabbath and all these things, it's quite a value. But it's fun to do it, and we did it so many times. We will do it more.
There you go. Okay, yeah, all right. Great question. Why we're talking about Dark Side of the Moon, Steely Dan, you know, but I would much rather talk about ZZ Top Tejas because I mean that's something very near and dear to my heart. You know, I mean for me my favorite pressing is the original, you know, that came in that frickin' cardboard sleeve that frickin' just like did the physical graffiti thing where it just like made sleeve marks all, you know, every time you pulled it out. But that one was cut at Ardent Studios in Memphis. It has the Larry Nix, so the L Nix is in the Dead Wax. So look for that one. It's the top loader. And the box set one that was cut, I think it was cut by Chris Bellman. The box set's also very, very good.
Did Hoffman do that one too, or no?
Hoffman and Gray did Fandango, and they did Tres Hombres in the box set. Yeah. But I think Ardent, yeah, it was cut at Ardent, Loki. That was what I was talking about. Yes. But I do believe that, I don't know if Chris Bellman recut Fandango and Tres Hombres. He probably did, but I think, let me go look at my box real quick. You all talk amongst yourselves.
I love that. Yeah,
I really like that box. I like that box a lot.
Yeah,
it's got a good mix in it of different mastering engineers. I really don't think you can go wrong by getting that box. I don't know if that box is still in print or
quite
if
expensive. I think.
Yeah, but it was very cheap to get relatively for a long time.
And now, since we discussed it, has now gone up in price.
Yeah, right. That's always the case.
I found these first. I like this very much. These first CC Tops. I found them on pretty nice German early pressing, so I'm happy with those also.
Nice tubey sound, I bet.
Yeah, I like this.
What was the? I'm going blank here. What was the first one? London? Was it London that the ZZ Top was put out the first two albums?
Yes.
Yeah, I prefer the Londons. I like those a lot.
All right,
I love their debut album very much. Love it.
Yeah,
one of my favorite records. Beautiful sound.
something else. I love those first two albums.
All right, so this Fandango off the Cinco box set is done by. This one's done by Hoffman and Gray.
Okay. Yeah. I like those. Some people think that they're a little bit bassy. But
yeah, that's what I hear people complain about.
But I really dig them. I think they're really nice. But if you have the originals and you can compare them, they're both different flavors. A lot of times,
okay. That's the case. So the Fandango here is, this is also Kevin Gray. So they did not recut these. The individual ones might have been recut. I don't know. But in the box set, 2 of them are done by Hoffman and Gray.
Yeah, I was thinking so.
That were the original Rhinos that were done years and years ago.
If you like your bass, man, those
are very, very bassy. So here's what the box looks like.
Yeah,
this is getting up there. This is getting up there in price now too. But I think you can get some. I think you can get these individually now, still in print.
This box set is not cheap. I'm looking at.
Oh, is it not?
How much? Six, 700?
Oh my god!
Really?
Wow. Time to
more. It starts here at like 190. Like 190.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was like a $60 box set when it came out.
Yeah. I remember doing that. I was like, man, I'd get 2 or 3 of these, but I'm not going to.
Well, I mean, the reason why you want it is to get a clean copy of this one, because these ones are so hard to find in clean condition. They're always beat to shit, especially the covers.
I have the first German pressing of that one. Sounds awesome.
And they actually sound good. Really, really good. Hey, so Tool, greetings from the U.S. to you in Greece. So, all right, we're still kind of finding our way here, people. We got almost got 90 people, so that's pretty good for a bunch of audio nerds talking about fucking sound quality. So,
and guys, I'm not too used to the chat over here, so I don't mean to ignore anybody. Hi, everybody. If I didn't say hello to you and you said hello to me,
sorry. It's your first day, dude. Yeah. It's the first time you've ever been on. You're doing way better than me on my first day. I can tell you that right now. Way better than me. But that was a great question about ZZ Top. So if you guys have any questions about stuff like that, we definitely don't talk about Steely Dan, don't talk about Pink Floyd, don't talk about anything. We can talk about any band you want to throw out there within reason, because some of us. I'm not a punk guy, and I know that John's not a punk guy, but Jason could probably handle the punk world.
Oh, maybe I should choose that record. Too late. Next time.
They did.
So, Jason is a pioneer of shitgaze, so yes.
Yeah, so I was a rock star. Let's just get that out of the way. And, I lived my rock and roll dreams. If everyone.
For the VC.
Yes, yeah.
You're still a rock star. You're still a rock star here.
But also like a big record collector. Like I started in the 90s when everyone was like just selling them off, and they were like a quarter, 50 cents, $1, and I was just buying them up, So.
Yeah, Randy, that's what you want right there. That blended copy. If you got to clean them.
I have a full set of the 1982 Red Wax monos. There was a 1986 version of the Red Wax monos that sound horrible. The 82 ones are the one you want. So
yes.
You do not want the 86s.
Yeah, it has the 82s. If you get with the OB, one of the things, you got to look at the record. I think one of them has like an M and the other one has.
I'll show you. Yeah, one of them has M. I can show you.
Yeah, but the OB, if it comes with the OB, it'll usually have like a little bitty vinyl record up on top. But, just make sure they didn't mix and match on you. If you don't want the 86, like Patrick said, it's a little brighter. But those 82s, for what they are really nice. If you want a nice quiet one.
The Red Wax mono.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's the ones that I have. Cool. I think I have a set of those. Still,
never saw them anywhere.
Yeah, I think they've actually stayed pretty steady in price. I may be wrong again. I was wrong about the ZZ Top box. So, but the 82s and 86s have stayed pretty much in the same zone as far as prices.
So you want to look for that right there.
Yes, that's it.
That the 86s look different. So
yeah, they do.
So these, the record. These usually run about $100. The Pepper goes about 150, and probably the White Album's like 175.
See, that's what they were. 15 years ago. So they have like plateaued on price. They're definitely not going up. So, well, all right. So
So you bring it. So this is a good segue right here.
Hit on the nail. Hit on the nail.
So before we did the thing, I said, okay, I want all of us to pick out one original issue that was plentiful and sounds good, and then and pick a reissue that's out there and in print and sounds good. So I'll go first, and since someone brought that up. So here's my homework assignment for today. My original, I went to a record swap yesterday, and I saw at least 15 copies of this record. At least, for all of them were probably $10-12. This is an original U.S. pressing on the orange label, cut by Wally Tragut. This is a Columbia Santa Maria pressing. You can tell because it's got the lazy S on the side. If you want to look for that, that's a great sounding pressing. It's a 1A, 1B. Cost me $10, and I mean this is a great sounding record. There's no other version that I think that sounds better than this. The Friday Music cut by Kevin Gray sounds good, but it doesn't sound as good as this. There's also an Alan Zentz version of this, by the way. I saw one that had one side was Wally, the other side was Alan Zentz, AZ. So this is my original issue that sounds great, that is plentiful, that you can find out in the wild these days. And my reissue just brought up is the Billy Cobham Spectrum. This was cut by Kevin Gray. It was cut from the original masters. The guy that did A&R for Rhino confirmed it on the Steve Hoffman forums. And this sounds phenomenal. And this is a hard album to find that's not beat to shit. So,
what music is this, P?
It's fusion. It's got Tommy Bolin on guitar, Billy Cobham from Mahavishnu Orchestra on drums.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is my choice. So
nice, very nice.
T, what do you got for us?
So I also did my homework. I find it here.
I think I misunderstood the assignment.
Well, you have time. We'll go to you last if you want to go run around. So yeah.
Newbie.
So I was talking to P, and yeah, I would say this is a Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd, second German pressing. It has the catalog number you want to look for. At least in Germany, yeah, I can find them everywhere. It has this 1C06, this 4. This 64 should be there. 62 is the first pressing, and 64 is the second pressing. And this one, I have the A1 B3 original first UK pressing, and is very expensive if you look for it. But this one, this German pressing, this 64 catalog number sounds really, really fabulous. And I know 3 to 4 record stores here alone in my neighbor city in Germany, which sells them for between 20 to 30 euros in good, near mint, excellent condition. And this is a really, really fantastic OG, which is affordable, which is available. At least I can speak for Germany. And this is really a wonderful sounding record because, yeah, it's easy to find and in good condition. And for a reissue, I was choosing this one, the reissue of Metallica Master of Puppets done by Bellman. I have, by Patrick's help, I have the white label promo of the Elektra Master of Puppets with the gold stamp promo and everything. For me, that one is clearly, for me personally, the best sounding OG. The second would be Roadrunner, the Dutch label. But this one, they all have one thing in common. The white label promo sounds very balanced, but it can be a little fatiguing because they have these highs in the original mix, which is on, I think, on all pressings. But Bellman did a very, very nice job. He polished it up a little bit. He put some bottom end there, and this is less fatiguing, but still very dynamic. You have to turn up the volume a little bit. He cut it a little lower. At least on my system, it's not on the same level like the white label.
Well, it's like a 58-minute album. It's got to be cut low anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and this one sounds really, really fantastic. If you cannot afford a white label promo, an original Elektra, original the Roadrunner Dutch pressing, this one is the one to get. And Patrick, you ripped it also. This is really
it sounds fantastic. Great. All those Bellman Metallicas sound great.
Yeah, every one of them.
Those are the Walmart ones, right?
Yeah. Well, they were the blackened ones first, and then they repressed them, and Walmart did them. But yeah, you can get them at Walmart. They all sound great. All right, John, do you want to like embarrass yourself because you screwed up the assignment? That's okay.
I'll get F on this, but that's okay.
I grade right. You. I'm a teacher. I can grade him.
Okay.
So I kind of went with can be the cheapest that you can go on something, and I went with Tom Petty's Wildflowers. The original is, I think it's still very expensive. I think it's kind of a bang for your buck type thing with the Wildflowers thing, the new reissue. There's I don't know if they have actually done just a single LP, or if it's still just a 3 LP set. But I really would say get the 3 LP set, because I think there's an original and then there's a KG remastered one, and either one of those are going to be big bucks if you can even find the KG. It's gotten universal praise for its sound. I'm not really sure who the mastering engineer even was on that. I tried to look it up, but I didn't see. But the good thing about this set, to me, I don't have the 3 LP with me sitting here, but I've got the Big Daddy here, the big 9 LP thing. And I don't
think that's readily available, John.
Yeah, I don't know if you really want that, but the 3 LP is good. And the reason why I said it's a good one is because, man, those alternate outtakes, usually with a set, I just put that on the shelf, listen to it once, and I never listen to those alter outtakes ever again. But with the Petty Wildflowers, you can make a whole other album out of those alts and outtakes. So you've got good sound, you've got the bang for your buck, and I think it's still relatively good priced. If you can get the single LP of the remaster, man, I would go for that. It's hard to
I think
find.
I have. I think that's what I have. Is the single.
If you get the single, that's what I would go with. So, do you want me to do another one, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, you're supposed to do 2 things, even though you didn't follow the directions.
Yeah, I'm not following the rules. I'm breaking the rules already here.
I can see why you're a problem for Chad. I can get it. I see it.
Right. So the other one I picked was Al Green's "Call Me." The high HC mastered are just beat up, man. You can never. I guess that record was played late at night with the lights off a lot, so and probably got all the scratches from that, But there's two ways you could probably get this on Discogs, and I like the Vinyl Me Please one. It's still there for show that. There we go. It's relatively cheap still on Discogs. I believe there's also the Speaker's Corner is still in print. It's
that's the one I have. I have the Speaker's Corner.
I like it. It's really good. In comparison to the other, it's a little bit more edgy. I wouldn't call it bright. I think it's great. It's just a little more on the analytical side for me, but it's still. Was that
cut by William Mackey, or was that after William Mackey?
Oh, I think it is Mackey that cut that.
Okay, I'd have to go look. I have that, but
yeah, and you can still pick that up, anywhere. Acoustic Sounds. Yeah. There you go, Chad. I gave you a little.
Got a free plug. Way to go! There you go.
So that's my 2.
All right, Jason, you're gonna bring it home.
All right, very controversial. We'll talk about this one. This is Miles Davis tribute to Jack Johnson. Now, this is the 71, right? Santa Maria pressing.
Nice.
I think this is a bit affordable, whether it's Santa Maria or Terre Haute or the Pittman. You can probably get this $20 and up for an OG, depending on the condition.
Wow.
Let's just brag here. I only bought it for 18. Woohoo.
Wow.
Right? So lucky me. But again,
is that the first cover? Or is the first cover the black one with Miles Davis playing the?
This is the first.
Okay.
Cover. So the gray thing. And if you've ever seen this movie, it's pretty fun, actually. It's an amazing documentary. If you don't know, it's jazz, right? So now, what is its reissue? Are we ready for its...
Here we go.
Here we go. Now, very controversial. And yes, it's a DSD, but this thing also sounds amazing. And it's affordable right now for $40 on MoFi. So if John is plugging in acoustic reductions, right, I'm plugging in mobile fidelity right here. Okay.
So which one is better?
Which one is better? Wow. Now this is tough. I think Norman Mazzi is in the peanut gallery. So
he might be mixing a martini, but yeah, he's here.
Right. I would say this would be a tie. In this way, this one here has the lower noise floor because it is new. And it has a bit more clarity and separation of instruments, So if you're into that style of listening, right, this would be the one. But if you want to hear that immense guitar from John McLaughlin, right, this is the one to get. Okay. You want to hear the action and the presence? I would say the OG, or that reissue that Patrick is talking about with the black cover. That is the one. Okay.
Well, this was like
Beautiful.
this is what inspired like a Jeff Beck to
Yes.
go that route. Was this album?
Yeah. And
Now
plus,
on the corner also is a kind of a controversial one too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's even
I
more.
did not pick that one. We can't go there. We can't.
Okay, we won't go there. I just like sorry.
P, since I am here, can I jump on a comment as a metalhead?
Oh, the guy that said that there's no good sounding metal albums.
Yeah, I love metal, but I've never heard a great sounding metal record made. But can I say something to that?
Sure.
So I can tell you right now from the top of my head, they are very big. And of course they will say it's not metal, but they are really, really good sounding metal albums. Like I can start off with Metallica, Ride the Lightning is a great sounding one. Slayer, Raining Blood is a great sounding one. The Cult, Electric is a sounding one. Queensryche, Rage for Order sounds fantastic. Maiden, Power Slave, Peace of Mind is fantastic. There are some Megadeth, Rust in Peace, Peace Cell sound fantastic. So
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I think even if I call Back in Black a little bit metal. It has a fantastic production. Rage Against the Machine, self-titled, has a fantastic
Ultimate Sin, Bark at the Moon.
Yeah, there are so many. Voivod, Nothing Face, Def Leppard, Pyromania. So there are so many metal albums who have great sounds. Even if you consider the Black Album not really metal, it has a bombastic, fantastic sound. So I disagree there a little bit. I think there are plenty of good sounding metal records out there. You have to look for the pressings. Even AC/DC, the older ones, sound fantastic. P, you put me in.
Well, Highway to Hell, Power Edge, they both sound great. I mean,
Peckham Poiky pressings of Power Edge sounds fantastic. For Those About to Rock and Back in Black with Robert Ludwig mastering, fantastic. So I think they are very, very good sounding. Even if you consider Rush a little bit, but of course we don't go there because they say Rush is never any metal. But Moving Pictures and Permanent Waves has such a great sound. My God! So they are very, very.
Fly By Night has a good sound. Power Windows has a great sound. Look at Thor being the controversial guy, and he's like such a laid back dude. He's going to cause all the problems now. Who would have thought? I would have thought John Bandy would have caused the problem. But yeah, here we go.
I'm trying to behave, I'm causing the problem in the peanut gallery.
Yeah, once you come up here, it's like a whole different story. It's like okay. All right, so there was a couple of questions. So somebody mentioned Friday Music pressed Wizard of True Star by Rundgren over 2 LPs, which needed to be because it's like a 60-minute record. But who cut it? Did Ron McMaster do it? Did Kevin Gray do it? Did Joe Riagoso do it? Who did it? So that's the problem with Friday Music is that you never know. I mean, I think I have all the Kevin Gray Friday Music ones that I know of. I think I have them all, and most of them are pretty good. The Montrose one, avoid with all prejudice. Do not go anywhere near the Friday Music Montrose, even though Kevin Gray cut it. But Friday Music's one of those labels that's hit or miss. I think Baraka P. Dub did a thing like, is it audiophile or not? I highly recommend that series. Anything by Baraka P. Dub, I suggest go watch it. But he did a series on does it audiophile or not, and it's really good. He breaks all that shit down. And so the problem with Friday Music is you don't know what source they're getting. You don't know who's really cutting it. And it runs the gamut. Like their version of the Yes album is probably my favorite, and I don't even know who cut it. There's no really marking, but it's spread over 2 albums, and it sounds great. But you take what you're taking a chance with Friday Music. So someone asked, and this is a good question. I mean, I think we're all going to say the same thing. I don't. Oh well, hold on a second. Like the Floyds, I think they were done like the Floyds. They already cut them digitally. I mean, Jimmy Page already cut those. They need to be redone. Right, is what they need to do.
Yes, that's the correct answer.
I wish they would let like. I actually wish what's his name, Ryan K. Smith, would do the Zeppelin stuff. I think I would prefer him over anybody probably.
I'm against all that. I don't want.
Why is that? Why is it?
I want my records to be valuable. Do not recut Led Zeppelin. Shame. I want my Houses of the Holy Porky, George Peckinpress to go up in value, you know.
Why
Pat's
would you
Radio,
say that?
Pat's Radio is giving a nice example. He says metal albums often lack the separation you get in other genres. I generally agree, but there are also exceptions. If you want to hear a nice separation of instrument, listen to Robert Ludwig Cut of Balls to the Wall from Accept. This is really a huge, huge album. If you talk about separation of instruments, listen to the bass, drums, and guitars on that record. It is really fantastic done. This Balls to the Wall is really sounding amazing in terms of separation of instruments.
Patrick, why do you pick Ryan as the man, would you say, for the Zeppelin catalog?
Well, because Bernie's already done it. And I don't think, I just think for rock and roll, for something like that, I just would like I'd like a whole different perspective than the Kevin Gray or the Bernie Grundman. I just would like somebody different this time to cut it that has a whole different perspective. And I think Ryan has access to Doug Sax's material. Is that what he uses, or is it somebody else? I don't know. He does the Sterling stuff, and he did the Aerosmith series that I thought was really good for rock, a good rock cut
That's
that he
true.
did of those.
That is true.
I have to say that Page actually did a good job on Led Zeppelin 3 and 4. I have these remasters here. I have the original A5, B7 Led Zeppelin Plum. But what he did with the 3 and 4 with Led Zeppelin, it's really pleasing to the ear. It's not like the original ones, but he did on that too. I think he did a very good job, at least on 4 and 3.
So I'm not against the Zeppelin's reissues or the Pink Floyd reissues. I think to find good, clean copies of those albums is tough in a perfect world, you know? So if you want something that sounds good, I mean, unless you have the UK Plum at your disposal, when you play the Led Zeppelin 3 remaster, you're going to go, man, that's a good sounding record. I bought, where is it? I was at the record spot and people, I bought, this was $1 record. It was, the covers beat the shit, but it's like, Selling England by the pound. It's a promotional copy. It's on, you know, it's on the US. It's a US pressing, and everybody shits on them. And I'm like going, okay. So I listened to it yesterday, and I was like going, you know, this doesn't sound that bad. But I didn't pull out my Porky UK original or my EMI 100 original and compare it to standing on its own. I enjoyed listening to the side that I listened to on my old vintage system. And I was like going, you know, this was enjoyable, you know. But if I played, you know, the Porky after it, I'd probably be like, oh, this probably didn't sound that good, but it did sound good, you know. And if you don't have, you know, access to all those other ones, then shit, dude, holy fuck.
Wow. Do not reissue the Led Zeppelin. Do not remaster. I don't want you to touch it. I want mine to go.
That is a real original one, right?
Yes.
Somebody find a microphone and drop it. The stream just ended. The stream just ended.
Yeah.
I'm here to drop. Right?
Yeah, later. Wow, man, where do we go from here?
Show the inside, please. Show the inside. This is porn, man.
Wow, This is like
please.
Not even any ringware on that.
This one it gets hotter, right?
Oh my god!
Look at you.
Right? I have version number 6 of that one, but not the original one.
That's nice.
Man, I'm sitting here like going, boy, I would have liked to have done more than one episode of this, but it's over now. Thanks, Jason. It's like, where do we go from here? It's like, yeah,
vinyl rip.
Wow, that's amazing. I've actually so does that is that the one that was pressed at Polydor? Does it have the slashes after in the Matrix? Is it like A//1, or is it?
So it doesn't have the slashes.
Mine is the later one.
So
it has the red.
Yeah.
Red. Oh. This is version number 6 with the gray. I think you have the gray also down there, right?
Yes,
the gray.
yes. You can see
yes.
That.
So this is number 6, but yours is the very first one.
Let's not go for the real McCoy. Just choose Thor's one. Why? Because they don't sound too different. Like I think this one has. I think the Matrix with the crossed out over, like that Patrick is talking about.
Same here also.
I think this was planned to be a mono actually, but then they decided against it. Right? That's the theory, right? But I think the second press with the orange lettering is fine. Please don't go crazy like this full. I'm pointing to me here. Don't go there. Get the second press.
But that's not even my favorite version of that album.
No,
I prefer the George Piros that was cut at Monarch. I mean, that's my favorite.
Yes, mine too. You send it to me, Patrick. That is my favorite pressing.
So
this one is
But that pressing doesn't hold a candle to the wow factor of showing that record right there, though.
Yes,
I mean,
man, that was
Yeah.
awesome. Is this the turquoise? Is this called the turquoise?
yeah.
It is.
I'm just embarrassed for the rest of my Led Zeppelin collection. So, I mean, my Led Zeppelin collection is now weeping. You know,
Jason,
and-
can I ask you,
Yeah.
Jason, how much did you pay for it, if I may ask?
I will be honest with you, Thor, since we're on an honest live stream. The person listed it wrong, so I bought it for I think 180 or 200. Thor.
What? Now I'm really jealous. What the
And
heck?
then John
Oh,
Bandy, like I was like, can you give me the tracking number? Like silence. I'm like, oh boy. And then when it came, I bought this I think 5-6 years ago, and I was just very nervous. And then when the package came, I was like, drop whatever I do, go down, meet the mailman, and like get this thing. And I was like,
Awesome, man. I'm
I
happy
got
for
it.
you, man. I'm happy
was
for you.
shaking.
That's
I've only
a
been,
heck of a deal.
the only time I ever was very nervous was when I bought the butcher cover for $50. That was
My
it.
God.
to me, the butcher cover's nothing compared to what you just. I mean, literally
Yeah.
nothing to what you just showed.
Same here.
I'm like-
same here.
I can't hate you more now than I ever will. It's like,
That's hen's teeth right there.
God,
It's hen's teeth. And $180.
that was beautiful. I mean, and when you say how much you paid for it, I mean, that's just criminal. I did say on a lesser level, I did that. I saw someone list a Doors Strange Days. It was a beautiful mono pressing, but they didn't show they just barely showed the label, and I had to zoom in like 8x and like blow it up in Photoshop and to see if it said EKL or EKS. It said EKL. I got it for like $1, but I mean that was.
I mean, Patrick, the one you sent me, the Strange Days mono from the Doors, from the Monarch pressing, is really, really fantastic.
Yeah,
I bought it from you.
I prefer, if I'm going to listen to mono, that's the only Doors album I'll listen to in mono is Strange Days, because the first album is so horrible, the mix is so bad, and Waiting for the Sun is a fold down. So, but man, I don't know what to do after talking about that Led Zeppelin. Where can we go?
Yeah.
Oh,
We cannot top that. We can only top it by the first four Sabbath.
I could pull out my Nimbus "Wish You Were Here." That's probably like.
Yeah, that would be it.
It's a virtual table. You just can't see it. It's a virtual table. And in the center of that table is a turquoise Led Zeppelin 1 is what's in the middle of the table. Yes.
Yeah,
Speaking of the Wish You Were Here, there is it's kind of hard to find, but if you'll search for it, I don't think it's going to be that expensive. And I've got it written down here. It's a Wish You Were Here 2016 EU cut, BG cut copy of that. But you have to make sure it's BG. I think there's a differentiation in the Euro cut. So so try to find that, and you'll still have a really, really good sounding Wish You Were Here. You won't have the first UK pressing, but you won't have the Led Zeppelin first either, right, Jason?
Yeah.
John, you have the Black Sabbath UK Swirls also, right? The first pressings you told me. No, sorry, John.
What's that?
You have the first for Sabbath as UK Swirls too, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Jason, do you have them as well?
Yes.
Go ahead, bring it out, Jason.
I don't have them with me, but they are like John Bandy. Like I have them in storage space. I've shared a picture on the OBC where
I can get them if the people want to see them. I can get them.
Sure.
It was knocked out, And
That's the thing with me. Half of my stuff is put in Fort Knox, so.
It was on the video, but my preferred pressing is either the Monarch. They were all cut at Strawberry, all the In Through the Outdoors, the UK, the US, the German, the Japanese. So I have a Japanese version that was cut at Strawberry, that uses the same plates as the US, but has a little bit quieter vinyl. That or the Monarch. The Monarch sounds really good. So those are my favorites of In Through the Outdoors.
So a little bit pornography. And these are really, I was really lucky to find them in this shape. This is 150 euros. It's a good price.
That has the Philips label, right? That has the Philips on the bottom, or no?
Yeah.
So show the Philips on the bottom of the.
He put something over it. The idiot.
Oh, that's right. What a dumbass! Yeah.
What a dumbass put something over it. You can see.
Yeah,
Yes,
it used to say Phillips.
Yeah, he used to say Phillips. This one, yeah. The seller didn't know what he was selling, so he charged. This is the second one. Paranoid, also in that condition. And
So, guys, what would you say is the difference when you're listening to one of these Vertigos? I know how I would describe it, but what would you say the difference? The bass, the drums, the guitar, the Ozzy's voice. What's going on that makes these special?
Everything.
The atmosphere.
Presence. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Atmosphere.
That's what I get. It's just like, man, you just hear this hammer of a drum when you're listening to those things.
Bass.
Now talking about going for the cheaper alternative, because those things are, I don't know about what you guys pay, but those are 3 figures for me when I bought them. I don't know what they are now, but it's like $300 or $400 for a near mint. So what would you say is the next closest thing where you're getting, and how far is it from the Vertigos, the next cheaper thing?
This is a great segue. This is because you can get those. Well, I don't know if I should do this. Nick Fantasy's going to get mad at me if I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway.
Serve the good of humanity.
Okay, so you can get Black Sabbath pressings because they were recut so often by like NEMS and by WWA and all that things. All you have to look for is the matrix number. Go look for. I'll show you here in a second. I'm trying to set it up right now. So hang on. But yes, it can be done. You can get it. You can still get it cheaply. I think I've got Eddie Perez has gotten a couple of them. Whether they're South African pressings or later UK pressings or whatever. You can still get these for a decent amount of money. So Black Sabbath. So this one right here is not a best example, but I'm just pulling up because there's so many. This one the median price is like $115. There's 25 for sale. It's a reissue on Vertigo, but
Did he just cut himself off?
Yep.
Okay.
He will come back.
Garrett.
And here he is.
Got all excited and kicked myself out of the screen.
That was weird because I pushed the name here trying to click on it, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I've blown Patrick up.
Yeah, so there are represses that have been done, that you can go look up, and you can probably get it for like here's one that's a repress for medium price is $70. I'm not even getting into other countries, or you just start looking around Discogs and do an advanced search on that stuff, and you can.
So would you say, even though they're using the same matrices, would you say that there are differences in sound, though? Would you say that any MS?
It depends on what plate they sent them, But I mean, like a lot of the countries, like South Africa, in Australia would get UK plate. They would just send the plates over, and they would just cut from there. So I bought a Uriah Heep, very heavy, very humble, UK Vertigo pressing from South Africa for $20. And it was the exact same matrix as the $200 UK Vertigo of the same album. Oh yeah, it sounded perfect.
That's another example. Yeah.
So hold on. So Jason mentioned the Porky Pecco Houses of the Holy, which nobody ever talks about because that is actually the first pressing. The Sterling RL is not the first pressing in the UK. In the US it is, but not in the UK. The UK Porky cut the first one. But they also sent the plates to Portugal. Portugal has the plates as well. So there's a Portuguese pressing for sale right now of House of the Holy that's an original UK, and I think I got you or somebody else one.
Yes, you did.
I got you one, and I have the UK, and they sound identical. They sound identical.
It sounds great. It sounds great.
And nobody talks about that, but you want to avoid getting the one that has Porky on side 1 and For Mary on side 2. The one that has For Mary on side 2 is horrible. But yeah, that is you need to have both. If you like that record, you need to have the Robert Ludwig and you need to have the Porky. So
Patrick, the same is true for You know, the Maiden, the first 6 Maiden you can get as UK
the Russia.
pressings, and you
The
get the
Russias.
Russian. Yeah, you look for the Gala Records pressing
Yes.
of the Maiden. They have the exact same stamper. And honestly speaking, I have 3 of them here as UK first, and 3 of them the same one, Peace of Mind, Caught Somewhere in Time, and Power Slave as UK first pressings, and the counterparts as Gala Records. And I honestly prefer the quieter vinyl of the Russians, and they sound fantastic.
So the only caveat is, and Jason actually bought one, is that on the first album, some of the plates were a little worn on the first album. So I've had 2. One of them sounded great. One of them sounded a little bit worn. Jason, you just bought one. Have you listened to it?
Yes, and I compared it to the RL. And I think like some of the slower songs, like they sound better with George Peckham. Like what?
No, I'm talking about the Iron Maiden. The
Iron Maiden.
Yes.
The thing is, I have the original UK, and that's back in my storage space. But I did listen to the Gala, and it sounds awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you didn't get one of the ones that had the worn stampers, because there are some. There's some that have the worn stampers. So it's the same thing. So sorry. Go on to what you're saying about the Porky. Someone asked about the Porky and the Sterling. So go ahead.
I think like on the Porky pressing of The House is the Holy, which is again a hard one to get. The slow songs just really hit you hard. While if you wanted the excitement of let me think of the title here, like The Ocean, right? That last cut. I think that Sterling, Robert Ludwig is the one. So having them both is great, but yes, getting the Porky is extremely rare. John Bandy, did you get one yet?
Yes.
I got him one for the Portugal.
Yes.
I got him the Portuguese UK one. Yeah.
And I was going to say that the kind of the moral of the story here, the big picture is don't be afraid to look at other countries, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of, I've been doing that more often. It takes a little work on Discogs, but that's part of the fun for me. I enjoy doing that.
If you do an advanced search, go ahead.
I prefer the Robert Ludwig on that one. Sorry. On the Houses of the Holy. I love the Robert Ludwig.
Yeah.
It's a different flavor. They're both so good.
Yes.
So hang on a second. So if you do an advanced search on Discogs, they have a section here called Matrix. So if I put in, I did this earlier. If I put in the Matrix for Houses of the Holy, and I do search, actually that's the wrong one. So sorry, I put the wrong. It's is it this one?
This is good information.
There we go,
Patrick.
So if you click on that, this one's not going to show me there. See, this one says Portugal. See, this one, the median price of this is $38, and there's one for sale for $52. So someone go buy it now. So these come up once in a while. It says it's near mint, VG plus. Oh, it says it's not Porky Pecco. Don't buy it, people. Do not buy it.
Too good to be true.
But yeah, so I mean, so I put in like KPG at CA here, which is Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. This will just show you all this stuff that Kevin Gray has mastered. You can put it in for Sterling, put it in for RL. You can do it for anything. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, it really comes in handy. Use the tools that are available to you, and that's a big one. The advanced search for Discogs is great for doing. If you go to the original pressing, like for Black Sabbath, you can copy the matrix number, plug that into the advanced search, and you can come up with different countries. It's not. I mean, it's common knowledge for some people. Some people don't know that kind of stuff. So I mean, okay.
Yeah, that's good information, though, Patrick. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it would be common knowledge, but I mean, people are paying. People. No. I've had people contact me and say, "Hey," I had a guy in Turkey the other day say, "Hey, man, money's no object. Go find me these records." I'm like thinking, dude, you could do it yourself, but he wants me to do it. I'm like, okay, so
yeah.
Did I miss any questions? Anybody asking anything? Rev, how you doing? COVID kicking your butt. No vinyl soup this week, people. We got 115 people here. That's a pretty good shot for the first time. So I appreciate everyone being here. Maybe we'll go for, I don't know, you got cool for another 20 minutes or so, and then we call it a stream.
I have another. I'd like that. I have another record to show here that'll be a bargain. I kind of thought of this as bargain stuff. I was in a soul mood today. If you're Aretha Franklin fan, to me, one of the things that I do when I look for a record, I kind of have a method. where I look for the mix, which is the best mix. Then I go for the sound. If I don't like the mix, then what's the point of getting sound? And that's for the 60s record. So with Aretha Franklin, to me, she's best in mono. And man, this set right here is really good. It's just a really good set. It's got good sound, all her stuff in mono. You get all her great hits, all the Atlantic.
Is he available, John?
Yeah, it's still available. Sorry, I'm not good at this camera thing here. There we go.
Yeah, I'm still not either. Trust me, I have no idea. So yeah,
that's kind of weird. Yeah, it's I don't know who put this out, but you can go to Amazon and find this thing, and it's very easily findable. I think that once again,
are those in mono?
Yes, it's in mono.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Aretha especially, it's I think she's better in mono. So
Jason's from Minneapolis and John's from Odessa.
Yes,
Midland.
The thing about Aretha, you try to get all that soul stuff. You try to get early pressings of the mono 45s. Man, they're always in rough shape, it seems like. And they finally put this thing out a couple of years back. I would highly suggest that album, 2-record set, if you're a Aretha fan at all. You're not going to notice it's in mono.
I like Aretha.
It's got good fidelity. You're going to like it. You can find it, I'm sure, on Amazon. Again, I went to one of the other major 3. The big 3 probably carry it too. I know one of them do.
Well, hang on a second, though. You said that they're all beat up. That Atco label, and this is Atco makes tanks, man. These things will survive anything. Nuclear winter, Atco records will survive anything. So
right. I think the soul records, I don't know, maybe people just played them really hard, and they were usually soul, I guess.
Putting a quarter on the head shell.
Yeah, I just have problems trying to find soul records that are in good shape. And with Aretha, I don't know that she ever had a really good sounding comp of the Atlantic singles before this particular.
I've heard good things about that, by the way.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
So Jose asked me about my best dollar bin purchase. My best dollar bin purchase wasn't a dollar bin, but I paid $1 for it. Was Paul McCartney Ram in mono. So at a garage sale. So paid $1 for that. But yesterday I paid $1 for this album. It's Iron Butterfly's debut in mono. I'd never seen a mono pressing of this, nice. and this thing looks beat to hell, but it sounds flawless. I mean, it sounds amazing. I was like going, I didn't think it would play, but this thing sounds amazing. So this was my best dollar bin find yesterday. But
can I answer the Celtic Frost question?
Sure, because you are the Celtic Frost guy.
So Wilson Tam is asking, do you own different pressings of Celtic Frost, Morbid Tales, or to Megatherion? I own all of them as original noise pressings. When they came out, I bought them from a friend for luckily 17 euros a piece. And now they are all between 200 and 300. But honestly speaking, they now released a very beautiful box. Patrick W. Engel remastered them. The whole first 5-6 albums of Celtic Frost are now available, I think, on what is this called? Nuclear Blast, maybe something like that.
Well, Engel does a lot of work for High Roller, so I mean, he does a lot of the High Roller stuff.
Yeah, beautifully. So I own the Morbid Tales. I own that one, the original one, and I own the one Patrick Engel did. So the reissue of the Morbid Tales sounds fantastic. If there's a double LP, I think they put 2 of the EPs together on that one. So the original Morbid Tales was an EP, and the reissue of Morbid Tales was a double LP in gatefold. And the new issue, this double LP from Patrick W. Engel, sounds really fantastic. But I would advise, if you got the money, go for the original noise pressings. They sound absolutely fantastic. I send them also to Patrick. They sound really, really, really great.
Okay, so Jose wants to ask records we commonly find in the dollar bin. Which ones do you consider worth it for the sound quality? Well, nowadays it's hard because the dollar bin has been kind of diluted to the $2-5 bins in a lot of places. I have one record store that still has a legitimate dollar bin, and this is a record that I see in that dollar bin quite often. I always pick it up because I just actually BCLT'd Alex Dickey with one of these. This is a Robin Trower Bridge of Sighs. And I mean, this is a 10 out of 10 record for me. It's plentiful. You can buy it in any label. You can get the green label or the blue and white chrysalis label. Sounds great. And yeah, so this is a dollar bin record. Ambrosia, self-titled, or Life Beyond LA is a great sound or great sounding records.
I have to get this Trauer one, man. I never saw it in Germany.
So, you guys have any dollar bin records in your area that you find that have good sound quality? So,
Dollar bin records in Odessa. You're probably actually, one of the things. I mean, if you're a country fan, it's easier to find country records out here. Willie Nelson. I was talking to some people online. They said, "Man, we can't find Willie Nelson." I'm like, "Why would you spend Shotgun Willie? I can find Shotgun Willie pretty easily in this area, So if you were looking out in this area, it'd probably be country records, but you're going to find your Slim Whitmans too, So.
And your Zamfir with the pan flute. So yeah.
Yeah, right.
Do they have like dollar bins in Germany there, Thor?
Yeah, they have dollar bins, but usually like you said, you don't find that good stuff there, like not really good ones. I check them now and then, but I never found something which was appealing.
Judy Collins.
Now this is a dollar find, but this is an amazing record with like Stephen Stills playing on it. It's just amazing. Again, probably the best dollar find you can get. Like Van Dyke Parks is on it. Again, just let me just see.
Who knows where the time goes? Is that
yeah. And that's that Sandy Denny song, right? So this is just amazing. Again, one of the best dollar finds you can get. I'm not saying don't go crazy like me and go get that white label promo. Don't do that. Just buy the dollar version.
Jason's a crazy man.
Dude, did you take all your per diem money and just pull it together to buy records when you were on the road? Is that what you did? I mean, did you eat it all in when you were on the road? Did you eat anything?
I will tell you some tour stories, but since you're taping this, we will not go there.
Okay, I'm just man.
To me, like finding dollar records, it's always a joy, right? You want to find, but like people usually pass this up. Like I say, don't pass it up. This thing's great.
I mean, I bought $22 records yesterday. About 10 of them made the cut, and but I mean, some of the stuff I was actually looking for. Somebody had asked me if I had this Foghat album, Tight Shoes. I didn't, but for $1, I said now I do. So people have talked about this record a lot. This Leslie West Mountain album, and I think this is his first solo record. And I went and looked. It's like a $20 record now. The cover was beat, but it was like, yeah. Nice.
Showing this for Pat.
Yep. Hold on a second.
I found that out here.
Show that again. What?
I was asking about the Tony Rice. This was a hard one to find. It's a great bluegrass. He's just an awesome picker. Pat was talking about this and asking me about I can't do the comments for some reason. I can't figure out how to type in there, but that's a great album. I found that for like $5, man.
Yeah, so then I also got this Leslie West band. This is also like a $15 record. I was like going for $1. The cover's beat, but the vinyl's great, and a Monarch free Fire and Water on the
wow
on the Monarch label for $1, and it's not jacked.
My goodness.
So they're out there. You just have to dig and dig and dig. Now it's not as easy as it used to be. I mean, now some of these sellers are woke. Like some. I cringe when I look through a guy's records and it says, Columbia Santa Maria Pressing. I'm like, oh shit, this guy knows what he has. But it used to not be that way. But
yeah, I'll run into deals every once in a while, but it's still kind of hard to. It's very hard to find things out here. But country.
Yeah. There you go. That's a $1 record right there.
Oh, nice.
Let's just look at that price. Let's just cry that.
Oh my God, $3.
How much?
And let's go.
Is that a UK?
Let's go harder, Patrick. Let's just do it harder. Let's go harder.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
$3. My God.
What's cool is like like when you're digging and stuff, and I go to record stores and they don't even know, that they have like a UK pressing of Free. They just see Island, like bands like that. If I see like a glossy cover of like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, I'm like going, oh shit, they don't even know that it's an import. A lot of record stores here don't know when they have imports. They have no idea what they look like.
Love Free.
So.
My favorite
band. When I went to my record store in Germany, the guy had this Abbey Road, this 2 -2, -1, you know,
One,
this famous, yeah. And he had it there as a UK pressing. He didn't know. I told him, you can sell this for so much money on YouTube, and he sold it to me for 25 euros. He didn't know what he had, the A1 -1, -2, -1 pressing. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the Goodwills here get hit up so often, and they have people pulling that stuff. And it's like I haven't found anything worthwhile in Goodwill in years here. Just nothing at all.
Luke, it's called Manzanita. Sorry, there we go. You see it now?
So, what's a record that you spent a lot of money on?
Yeah,
That was really disappointing.
Chase and start, chase and start, chase and start.
Yeah, that was really.
Jason, what was it? Let's go.
Disappointing, very disappointing.
Yeah.
I have to think about it, Patrick. That's like a tough question.
All right, Thor. What about you?
The most money I spent on a record was 180 for Volume 4.
But you were disappointed in that. I'm talking about when an album that you may have paid up for that disappointed you.
That disappointed me.
Yes.
Okay, let me think again, John.
Oh wow, you guys are putting me on the spot too.
A lot of money.
I've heard a couple of them, Winston.
It's hard to say because my tastes are so varied that I can just about get into anything, you know. But probably this thing. Now that I think about it, this thing right here. I got that whole set, and it's got a lot of trinkets in it. But I got, I went Mazzy on it, Now I can use it for a footstool. So
I got mine. Now this made me think. I know what mine is. Hang on.
I don't know. I don't
but
think
the music's great. It's just I don't mind the music. It's more the fact that was a lot of money I just spent on that. But
I think I never spent a lot of money on a record which disappointed me. Yeah. I don't think I had this experience. Oh my God, P is bringing a box.
No. What is that?
Huge box.
It's encyclopedias.
Oh, this bad boy.
Oh wow!
Why is that disappointing? Why?
Oh, because it sounds like shit. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't sound like crap, but it doesn't sound good. I mean, it's like I had such high hopes for it, and got it here, started listening to it, and went, just absolutely, just like really, 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 just not happy. Even the later stuff I was glad to have on vinyl that I didn't have before. But yeah, just not thrilling for me,
Now here we go. We'll go with disappointing. This thing, I wanted the first LP, right? Like that first LP, Al Cooper, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, amazing. But do I need to have the second one? Do I need to have the third one? Do I need to have the fourth LP? No, dude.
That actually was pressed by Analog Productions at Quality. Yeah. Wow.
And I love it. Like for the first LP. Like when I listen to the second one, like even the Mo-Fi kind of beats that. Even the ORG beats it. Like I just don't think it's necessary. Like this was a box of.
I can't believe multiple companies pressed that thing.
It's kind of a horrible cover too, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. So you guys have had time to think about it. What's
I didn't pay any big money for a record which disappointed me. I'm sorry.
Well, how about any record that you bought that disappointed you? That you had high expectations
high
for?
Expectations and it disappointed me.
I've got a few box sets that disappointed me, but so.
Well, I went nuts on some, unheard stuff. I try not to do, pre-Amazon stream days where you couldn't listen to anything. There's probably several albums that I bought through the years. I don't know if they cost me a whole lot, but I got them and I was like, okay, yeah, the cover looks really nice, but that's not what I was expecting for it to be inside, So probably quite a few maybe some jazz albums that I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that,
What's the Maca Suitcase? Is that all the singles? Is that the 83 singles, whatever the hell that was? Is that what that is? Do you have that, Jason? The 83?
No,
okay.
You can't. You can't go there. If you're gonna get those 80s Maca, McCartney, like those 80s singles, right? That's tough. Like, no, don't.
Actually, my Metallica box set, I have that black box set that George Marino cut really hot. I think that one's pretty disappointing for me too. I have that, but yeah. You didn't like the MoFi iRobot? I seem to remember liking that one. I have to revisit. I know I have the UK. I know I have the classic too, but I seem to remember that the MoFi wasn't bad. Maybe I have to revisit that. But no Egypt Station in an actual suitcase.
Oh,
No, I got the pass. I cannot find any record which disappointed me right now. Maybe I find one.
I'm not a Opeth fan. I don't like the screamo vocals. They have screamo vocals. Their early stuff has the screamo vocals, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Except
afraid
for the Damnation record where he's singing the whole album in clean vocals. You will like that maybe. That's a great.
afraid-
Yeah, I know they changed styles, so
I'm afraid any probably Maca album would be a disappointment for me.
I like Band on the Run. I think Band on the Run's a great record, but
I like
Put
Ram.
Around the Ram,
I do
the
like
first
Yeah.
McCartney
I do.
record. I even like McCartney too. That's a good one.
But yeah. The US, I don't think I've been listened to my US iRobot in a long time. I did get a really nice clean copy of Tales of Turn of a Friendly Card, and it was cut by Ted Jensen at Sterling. It sounded really, really good, close to my UK. So
A lot of the stuff that I've bought, Mazzy's talking about the MoFi Beatles LP box. When I first got that, sometimes knowledge and what you hear better is sometimes a curse, because when I first got the Mobile Fidelity, I was like, oh, wow, this is quiet. This is different. This sounds really nice. And then you get something that's the real deal, and you're like, okay, now I'm disappointed in it. So a lot of that stuff can turn into a disappointment.
I mean, after the first time you listened to it, you didn't go, why do my ears hurt? I mean, that wasn't.
No.
I have one of those in my closet, and I'm just waiting for someone to offer me money to buy it. So if anybody wants a MoFi collection box set, I'm your guy.
The blue box, I was like,
oh yeah,
this is much more balanced. Yeah, I can hear what's going on. And that's a good point. I think a lot of times, everybody's different, but for me, it took my ears kind of some training to know what to listen for, to know what to actually listen for when I'm trying to hear what somebody describes something. I'm like, okay, what are they talking about? You almost have to hear what it is they're talking about in order to hear the difference. So, and then
Jason, do you need a minute, Jason, for this question? Do you need a minute?
Yeah. What's the best?
No, okay. I figured you might have to go to the closet and pull out your 6 pressings of Lou Reed Transformer.
I don't know. I don't have that Speaker's Corner reissue, but I think the UK version is still affordable, and I always recommend that. I haven't touched the reissue.
I think I found one which disappointed me. I love the music, but I hate the sound. This was when I first heard Black Sabbath Born Again. I was taken aback. I love the music, but I was so disappointed.
Oh yeah, well, Born Again totally needs a remix.
That would be one I bought with great expectations, because I wanted to hear it, and then I heard it, and the sound was such a muddled mess. It would be wonderful if they redid it.
So Transformer. I mean, the Speaker's Corner I have is great. I've had a UK that's great. I've had even the Dynaflex sounds good. I mean, I don't think. I think you have options when it comes to Lou Reed Transformer. I think it was a part of the EMI 100 or the Millennium series too.
I like the Dynaflex myself.
Yeah, the Dynaflex sounds great. Yeah,
the Speaker's Corner really has that bass on it. Again, if you like that, if you like the ZZ Top one with the the Hop and ZZ Top bass, you're going to like the Lou Reed bass, with the Speaker's Corner. So I prefer the Dynaflex. So it's more balanced sounding to me.
I think that came out on Anadisc, and I think Trey Winborn has a copy of that he said he was willing to send me. I need to ask him about that, but I don't have the first Alan Parsons on MoFi. But I think Trey Winborn has it, and he told me he would send it to me. Well, Jason just left to go get the Anadisc version of Tales of Mystery and Imagination. Every time now Jason goes off camera, I get depressed. I'm like going, now I'm going to be angry. I'm like, what's he going to come back with and make me mad about?
Right.
I mean, that Led Zeppelin, that was.
Yeah, that was a jaw dropping moment for me. I was just like, all right, are you going to show the Anadisc of that? Okay.
It's affordable. Do not.
Is that a German?
No, this is the UK. This is the UK, definitely.
Okay.
This is the UK, right? So,
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
so affordable, at least below 30, at least, you know.
I have that white vinyl DMM of the Beatles' White Album. Dynaflex Beat Speaker's Corner. I like them both. I mean, I've compared them, but yeah, they're both good.
The David
I have
Bowie
I have
on
that as well.
The David Bowie on Dynaflex sound also very good.
There you go, UK. I like those RCA labels from the UK back in the day.
All the Lou Reed originals sound pretty good, I think.
Somebody asked something. Where was I? War Greatest Hits. Yeah, that was actually excellent. That
Yes.
Someone mentioned that. I picked that up in somebody's recommendation.
Yes, I bought it.
I'm really hoping that Kevin
That's
Gray
great.
will
That is
consider
wonderful.
doing more titles like back catalogs of good old rock and roll reissues through that Valve system that he's built now. I know he's not wanting to do that, but I'm hoping that he will. It won't just be new artists, jazz artists that he puts in his studio.
I mean, Back in Black, kind of a Robert Ludwig, Monarch pressing. You're pretty much good to go. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to pretty much dispute most of. I think that's almost a consensus for Back in Black.
Yeah.
Robert Ludwig.
Patrick, can I show one more record? That's
You can show as many as you want. If you show it's another turquoise freaking Zeppelin, though, I'm kicking you off of here.
Show one more that'll probably make everyone angry, but I won't do it.
Okay, here we go.
We'll do it next time, right? But I think this is affordable. I think Mazzy showed it on his.
Oh, that sounds
Very
great.
good.
I have that the Intervention Records, which does great stuff, man. Really good stuff.
So like this is again what Gene Clark, right?
Yes.
On the Birds, and this is I believe his second solo record with somebody else, like Gene Clark. And this is very folk, bluegrass, country, and the Intervention, which is like right here, is well worth it. I think this one runs you for 40, right? The original.
Such a journey record.
Yeah.
It's a little journey, man. That's such a good record.
Worth getting, I think what's funny is let's try to. It doesn't show up in the Intervention, but this one, let's see if I can get. What are they passing?
I don't know.
I don't know, but they're awful happy.
I know. So there's a lot of laughter there. So
Awful happy.
I would love to see some nice reissues of Grand Funk. I mean, Music on Vinyl's done a couple, but those weren't great. But yeah, I think that's another band that doesn't get talked about enough. Yes. I have. Did Kevin Gray do the Vinyl Me Please ones? Because I have two of those and they sound great. I think the two Vinyl Me Please Meters albums that I've gotten, Rejuvenation and what is it, Fires on the Bayou. I think they both sounded great.
I was in that stream with Michael yesterday, man, and I had the opportunity to ask Kevin which titles they were, but I panicked and got starstruck and just said, "Thank you, Kevin, for making those," and never did ask. So he was like, "Yeah, good."
So go ahead. So someone talked about this Jurassic Plastic. So the only thing I heard Kevin Gray do the Damned album, the Damned album on Jurassic Plastic, and that one did not sound good to me. I've had an original. And it just sounded totally different. So I knew you had an Anna disc of that. I knew you did, Trey. See, I can remember some things. So. Oh, Jason just left again. Are you scared? So,
What do you think about the Anna disc, Patrick? The ones from what were they in the 90s, right? What would you say your top ones are? Do you have recollection?
They were heavy. I've only had a couple. I've had the Boston. I think I've had the Nirvana. I'd have to go look and see what I've had. None of them would be my go-tos. But
okay.
So I just want to answer Nick Pantazzi's question.
Oh, you're right.
About the Back in Black. So there's nothing.
My bad. You're right. Notes and tones. There you go.
Awesome. This is what, of course, the RL, of course, the Bob Ludwig. This is great. Nice. But what can top this, right? So that was a question on my mind in the past 5 years. And I wondered, right? So I kept on going, and I wondered what the country of origin would prove to me, right?
Canada? Is that Canada?
Nope. This is the original
Australia.
The Albert production, right?
I hate you now.
No, Thor.
No,
kidding. So
no,
I think this one in particular will give you more of the presence, but if you want that action, then you want to get this bad boy, right?
Are the promos, Jason? Is it AA? In the Dead Wax, is it AA, or do you remember?
For which one?
For the promo there of the Back in Black, is it AA on the dead wax, or do you remember?
I have it right here. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Don't hate me, Thor. Come on now.
No, this was a joke, man.
Oh,
Thor
hate you.
doesn't hate anybody. Thor is
Nobody.
Thor is anti-hate.
Well, then you can hate me.
No, I will not hate you.
You know, Stunty, he was like teasing me. I'm like, wait until we get to Den Bosch. We'll see. You know, this one is Master Disc. I don't see the AA, but I do see the SP.
That's interesting. It was cut at specialty for the promo.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that is interesting.
My God. And the Australian sounds better?
I think if you want that more natural sound, but if you really want that action sound,
Is it affordable, the Australian one? Not really, huh?
no, absolutely.
It's hard to find. It's very
Absolutely
hard to find.
not.
Right, Jason? The Australian is very hard to find, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I say, Thor, that's a trip to Australia, so don't go to India. Go to Australia on your way back and just start buying
No,
those.
the flight to India is booked, man.
I think there are some particulars with that Australian pressing you have to look for, right? Or am I wrong?
Yes, you do. So, like, I'm going to try to
My
open this
God.
one up for you.
This is a holy grail for me, man. I
I
love
have all
that
the
album. I love that
albums,
album
the
back
other
to forth.
albums.
It's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Let's get it out.
They have all the Alberts of the other albums. They really sound. They have such a warmth to them too.
Is that a maxi cut? Is that a maxi cut? The Australian?
Let me see here. Pressure's on me, right? So let's see here.
Jesus
Let's try to
Christ.
show it better.
In the dead wax, it should say maxi cut.
Yeah, that's
Yes, it does.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, you want the maxi cut.
This is the hot one, right?
I wonder if the blue labels have maxi
What
cut.
are we
also.
talking here, Jason? 500? More?
Mm-hmm.
Next
More?
of kin, Thor. Next of kin. Just kidding, Thor. Come on.
No, how much we are talking for this? Like 500-600?
If I tell you how much I bought this, are you gonna cry? Let's not do that.
No. What is it right now on Discogs?
I think on Discogs, like Patrick or John Bandy, tell me if I'm wrong. This thing starts at least 100 and goes up now.
Yeah.
Okay, 100 is fine.
I think Thor. I think you're about in the vicinity. You're thinking of to get a near mint or a one that you're going to want. I would say.
Sorry, I'm shopping for a maxi cut back in black.
$300 or $400. I would say $300-$400.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I had one. I prefer the RL myself, but that's just,
So I will not.
that's
No,
just
I
me.
cannot spend 400 on a record. So I will stay with the Robert Ludwig. I have them
Yeah.
also.
Please stay with the Robert Ludwig unless you go to Australia and you're gonna get this bad boy.
Yeah, this is beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
Different flavors for sure, man.
Thank you so much for showing this. Great.
That's awesome, Jason. Yeah, awesome.
Really awesome.
No more. Patrick,
You're not gonna
let me
see
No,
that just
no,
anywhere.
this is so nice. Please.
Sorry, I'm buying a maxi cut right now. So yeah,
Okay.
I just got one in near mint condition for $80 shipped from Australia, but the cover's in like kind of jacked condition, but I don't care.
Well, yeah, I mean, my cover's kind of
Seriously, P? Seriously?
Yeah,
$80, not much.
$80 shipped.
Cool. I will buy one too.
I should be like, smells like Australia, guys.
It does. Can you smell the Vegemite? Yes.
You can smell Angus Young sweat.
What kills me is, again, when you look at this, who produced it? Mutt Lang. He is something
Yep.
else, just amazing.
Such a monster album.
Yeah.
Hey, do
So
you
the
have
next-
any of the other Alberts, Jason, of the other? Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the blue
let me
labels. You
tell
like the
it.
blue labels? You like the blue label ones?
I think the blue labels are okay, because I think
they're
a couple of them are the black label or the blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do have Highway to Hell. I don't think I have it here with me. That one sounds great too.
Let There Be Rock sounds great. I have TNT. I think I have High Voltage.
Patrick, what's your favorite, or anybody here? What is your favorite Highway to Hell version?
I've never had the Australian. I've had the UK and I've had the US, and
Me too.
the George Piros sounds great. I mean, the US Highway to Hell cut by George Piros. George Piros is an unsung hero. Him and George Marino don't get enough credit for what George Marino cut everything. If you'd see Sterling with nothing on, it's usually George Marino. He cut it all. But yeah, I like the Highway to Hell. Probably the Piros. I like the Piros cut.
Isn't there a strawberry
I
in
would
that
also-
too?
I have a strawberry. I have the UK, and I have Patrick's George Pyrus. I also would say I prefer the George Pyrus cup.
Where does the strawberry fall in, Thor? What do you think of the strawberry?
First, I would say Pyrus, then UK, and then strawberry.
Okay. But all three pretty
Pyrus
cool.
is the one to get.
Yeah.
I grew up with the German. That was 80. I was 11 years old, so I love that sound. But the Pyrus is, in my humble opinion, a tad more warm. I like this more warmer sound. This more full form, rich and warm. The German, the European cut of High Will Trail can be a little fatiguing.
Okay.
So I prefer the US one.
So Pyros it is. That's one I have.
So the interesting thing about that maxi cut is I did a while ago. I think I had a little river band someone sent me. It was the greatest hits, and it had maxi cut in it. So I looked it up. I didn't know what maxi cut was, and it was they modified the cutting head on whatever the lathe was to where they could cut longer and deeper into the groove. It was a proprietary system for that that pressing plant and mastering engineer. And it's an interesting story. I wish I could remember it better. But if you have some time, you can go to the Hoppin forums and look up maxi cut, and they actually describe, the guy who actually designed it. I think actually comes into the thread and actually talks about what it was. But the maxi cut, I have a couple of them from Australia. They both sound really, really good, really, really good. So
I want to go back to soul here for just a second, talking about MoFi. All the controversy of that, and I would have to say this may be a common record to find in the bins, but I think I have both the original and this of the Bill Withers Greatest Hits.
That's a great one, yeah.
It's still in print. It was hard to find. They were going for like $100 because you know how it goes. They come off the pressing, and then they don't repress them. So
I don't know.
This is, I think, available right now. So I would really consider that if you like Bill Withers. I don't need all Bill Withers stuff. I just need his greatest hits, man. That's all I need, really, of Bill.
Yeah, that's a really good. I have that one as well. That's really nice.
There you go for $35-$40.
Well, we've been at it for about an hour and a half, man. I think that's pretty good for a first time. I hope you guys had a good time. 125 people here. That's more than I expected. I guess word got around that somebody was showing a turquoise Led Zeppelin 1.
Here comes another 200 people right now.
I think I know what the thumbnail is going to be for this video. There's the thumbnail right there. It's like, yeah,
that's awesome.
Do you need more reason to hate Jason Rojas? Here's reason number 675 right there.
Hold that back up, Jason. Hold that back up. Okay, now everybody go like this.
Yeah.
Right on.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do it weekly. Maybe we'll try it for like every couple weeks or whatever. We'll talk about it afterwards. But yeah, I think
monthly would be a good idea. Monthly, it would be realistic.
Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed it. I'm glad you guys took the time, especially you, John, your first time on camera. You were natural. You did great. It was great to have you. And we actually were going to have Tim, University of Vinyl was interested. So I'm have some more, other people. I'd like to get other people involved and stuff. So yeah, I'm not against opening this up to more people. I don't want to get like 10 people because then you can't really talk when there's 10 people here because there's too many people talking. So
it'll be too much.
So yeah, so I think like up to like 5 or 6 should be good. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that showed up to hang out, and we'll get better at the question. I tried to do better at the questions, and I have some of them starred. And I'll actually maybe put those together as an agenda items for the next time we can talk at. And maybe I'll put up an email address so you guys can like send in questions beforehand that we could maybe, submit in and just get a little bit more structured instead of just like winging it like I do, because this is the first time I've done a stream without any music really. so I can always rely on the music to like kind of bail me out of stuff. So
I think
someone asked about the best sounding punk album. And I don't know about punk, so that's not my thing. So Jason could maybe,
Just give me 2 minutes if you want me to answer.
Yes, please do.
Get it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Probably have another thumbnail here.
Here we go. Yeah.
one of the best sounding punk
He's
rock
gonna go.
albums.
He's gonna get Sex Pistols with the frickin' 45, and no dominant. What is it? So submission on the back. So that's it.
I think one of the best sounding punk rock albums is Bad Brains, Eye Against Eye, and Bad Religion Suffer. They sound really, really good. Really, really excellent.
Yeah, no kidding, man. That Jason guy needs to come to the table with a little bit more better stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just
Yeah.
Stop bringing
records.
He needs to stop bringing the weak shit. Yeah.
It's all those crappy records.
I mean, seeing
Yeah.
this turquoise, I never saw a turquoise record live. My God.
You backed out.
I backed out. I mean, the thing was, I was going to show a post-punk record, not a punk record. So,
Okay. So, but
this bad boy, this
Ah,
is
nice.
awesome. Okay,
yeah, I like Gang of Four.
Great album.
so sorry.
So there. So what would be? What is television punk? Marquee Moon's a pretty good sounding record.
Yeah, but I don't think
kind
that's
of
a
punk.
I don't think
record.
that's punk. Well, I
It's
mean,
not.
Never Mind the Bullets is a good sounding punk record. That's a really good sounding record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Virgin, like I would get that Virgin, and it doesn't matter if it's a first or second pressing.
Yeah.
That one will sound good.
Is it UK or
Yeah.
This one,
yeah?
No.
John
Whatever you want to
Bandy,
show.
I think John Bandy, I think you should know me by now. Once you know me more, right?
Right.
I'd cover here, let's not.
Helmet, yeah.
Get
Helmet
around,
is a good sounding stuff.
There you go.
But I think like the box set sounds good. If you're interested that in John, that Gang of Four box set, that thing's pretty awesome.
I think I've got it
I was
on YouTube, but
I had a guy whose collection I'm trying to buy who dropped off a bunch of like all the OMD and Echo and the Bunnymen stuff and a lot of the Gang of Four stuff here. So I have most of it here.
well, the Gang of Four stuff, even with the UKs, they don't go for like crazy money though, do they? 40,
No, they're about $20-$30 for that kind of stuff. Maybe a little bit more, but yeah. Okay. Thanks everyone in the Peanut Gallery and you guys here. Thanks for. I think we were successful in making people mad at Jason, and I think that was that's really not what we wanted. But yes. Oh yes, Alex Vicky, you missed it. John Bandy's been live and in charge the entire time. Yes, the first spotting of
See how nice
that's
I
what.
really am, Alex?
That's what people will be talking about tomorrow. The fact that John Bandy was on a live stream. That will be the discussion tomorrow.
I'm so knowledgeable. That's cool,
Yes.
man. I learned so much
internet.
this evening. I was learning from you three guys. I was learning from you.
I learned from I learn something every time I go to streams. I go to like John Bitbop Boom stream and I have to spend money because he's like playing all this shit. Like I just bought a fucking another copy of Back in Black for Christ's sake. But yeah.
I want to praise Patrick's streams at night, man. That really opened up a lot of music for me. I mean, I like Metallica and some of the groups, that are metal, but there's such a big range of stuff that I never really knew about in punk also. John,
you will love
Bandy,
the Overkill
all
I
these guys.
sent you, man. Overkill,
Yes,
the Kill the
Overkill,
Fire
I'm
is
looking forward to
fantastic,
that.
man.
Man, I just want to praise that screen.
All right. Scotty Strychnine knows what punk is. So he says the only ones on UK CBS is a great sounding punk record. So take what Scotty says to heart. So this man knows his punk. Yes.
I agree.
All right, I'm going to end this because we keep talking. So
Yes.
goodbye, everybody. We'll be doing this again at some point, and I thank you all for being here. And it was a lot of fun. Yes, there'll be a stream tonight, Eric. I will be streaming tonight. There will be music playing, not just me yammering. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you for being here, and it was a great first show for us.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.